Good evening everyone, and welcome back to the Brain Dead Breakdown. Today, doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be changing my guitar strings whilst discussing a question. Are premium guitar strings worth it? Now this is a question I've had for years. I've been playing guitar for 20 years this year, and for 19 and a half of those years, just use regular strings. And I always had the mindset of strings are strings. As long as, once they hit a certain bar of quality, they're strings and I can use them and I don't care. And that's the way I've always kind of been. And whilst I stick with brands that I know, I've always either gone for the basic D'addario XLs or the basic Ernie Ball color packs. You know, you guys all know what ones I'm talking about. Guitarists know, you know. I decided that now's the time. You know, like so many people in my Twitch streams see me playing, ask what strings I use, and I always say just normal ones. And so many people have tried to convince me to at least try premium strings of many different brands. And now's the time. Well, 4 months ago was the time. It's been 4 months. I've been running this experiment for 4 months. So yeah, I finally gave up the cheaper strings. I gave up the regular strings and have had exclusively premium strings on all of my guitars since. So, except this one. I'm putting the premium strings on it today, and the experiment shall continue, but I'm going to give you my findings with the 6 strings thus far. Got some Hunt Showdown gameplay on in the background just for some extra visual flutter, so thank you Hornet for your gameplay. No sound though, just the video. But anyway, it started 4 months ago. I bought 5 sets of premium strings. I bought 3 sets of Elixirs and 2 sets of Ernie Ball Paradigm. And one of the sets I'm not going to bother talking about because it was a bass set and I'm not as comfortable with bass guitar. I've been playing it for a lot less time, so I'm going to stick to the normal guitar, electric guitar, acoustic guitar in this video. Of those 4 sets, I put a set of Ernie Ball Paradigms on this Epiphone, and I put a set of Elixirs on this Schecter Super Shredder, and then I put a set of each on my acoustics as well. So I've got an acoustic with both Paradigms and Elixirs as well. I just wanted to completely immerse myself. Try it properly, you know, see what happens, see how everything goes. And as I said, after 4 months of having the strings, yes, 4 months without a string change, which should already tell you something, because if you're a normal string user like me, or I have been for so long, the fact that I am 4 months in with the amount I play these guitars, all of them, and none of them need a string change yet, that says something. But yeah, so I'm going to get on with this string change. Come along with me as I change the strings and talk to you about my experiences with the premium strings. So I'm going to get on with the string change here. I'll show you I am using Elixirs. Again, I'm putting a set of Elixirs on the Schecter today, on the 7. So this is the first 7 string pack of Elixirs I bought. But the fact I'm still going for it probably tells you something. So the first thing I noticed when switching over was I didn't actually like the Elixirs to start with. And this is something if you were a normal string user and are going to be doing a similar test, I'm gonna warn you of something. So I personally like slightly worn in strings, you know, like strings that are not too worn in, but just past the point of brand new. This is talking about regular strings. So the Elixirs, when I first used them and first put them on, the nano web coating that makes them last so long felt very strange to me. It felt very slick. It felt, well, very odd to get used to. I can't deny that. It felt very odd as just in feel under my fingers and just general playability when I was so used to just bog standard strings, you know. And it was something that at the start of the test was a bit of it was a bit of a tipping point for me. I was just like, oh shit, I don't know how well this is going to go, because already I'm not liking it. But that was just it being different to what I was used to. And I realized that pretty quickly, because once, after about 3-4 days of playing, I started to feel them start to wear in. Definitely took longer. Like, it would literally take me an evening of playing on regular strings to wear in the previous kind of strings I would use. So definitely a big change there. Definitely a big change. But once they started to get worn in, I noticed that they stayed at the point that I enjoyed strings for way longer. And now, even 4 months in, they still feel nice. They still feel slick. I keep my strings in good condition. I give them a bit of a clean and, you know, try and fret fast and, you know, all that stuff. I try and keep them clean and whatnot. But still, even, it's the same string care routine I used for the old strings, but has lasted longer. I shit you not, guys. When I would go through my intense periods of playing guitar, a regular set of strings wouldn't even last a week, which I'm sure there are some guitarists out there who are like, wow, that's you know, that's nothing. Mine go for in a day or whatever. But there's probably some on the flip side as well who are saying the complete opposite. But for me personally, I would get through a set of strings in about a week, just regular strings. A week to 4 months, you know, like it's insane. Like I've had these on, and I could understand if someone, you know, tried them and got through them quicker or whatever, but I still think they're going to last anyone longer than a regular set would, which is, I didn't think I'd be sold. Like I was very much a cynic going into this, and I got won over. Very much a cynic who got won over with this whole experiment, because, like I said, 20 years with the same strings, just didn't care. Strings were strings. That was my view, you know, like that was my viewpoint. If I can play the strings, I don't care. Whereas now, I'm seriously considering just popping either Elixirs or Paradigms on my guitars going forward, if I can afford them when I need a string change, because they're just going to last so much longer, and it's just that weight off my mind, you know? So, going on to the Paradigms, something I noticed about the Paradigms is this issue that I was talking about a moment ago with the slickness and how they feel, the nano web coating, as they call it. The Paradigms don't have that. So, if you try Elixirs maybe, and the nano web coating is not your thing, maybe try Paradigms instead, because the Paradigms, when I put them on, do definitely feel more like just normal strings. Like there's less of a difference in the general feel whilst playing, so that could be good for some people. I feel like they haven't quite lasted in the sweet spot of playing for me, like where I just really like strings quite as well as the Elixirs, but they've still definitely lasted longer than a standard set would. And this is a big thing as well. It's like, it depends on what kind of environment you live in too. Now, I live in England, I live in the UK, I live in Southend-on-Sea, which is right by the seafront. It's very, like, no matter what time of the year it is here, there is a lot of moisture in the air. So my strings tend to rust quickly if I don't play the guitar. You know, like if I do play the guitar, it's like it's getting a bit of workout or something. But if I just leave the guitars on the wall, the strings tend to rust quickly because of the high humidity and high moisture in the air. And that's just something that I've gotten used to over the years of playing guitar, because I've always lived here. I haven't even noticed that with the Elixirs. You know, like it's just like the nano and the Ernie Balls as well. I'll give the Paradigms credit too. The Paradigms haven't really shown that either, and which is amazing. Which is amazing. And I've just realised I don't need to open a new lemon oil. I've got another one. Bear with me. Yeah, like the moisture resistance on these premium strings is amazing. Like 100%. It's something that I didn't think about. And I'm telling you now, guys, if you're a guitarist who lives in a climate that's got a lot of moisture in the air, and you find your strings rusting a lot, even, you know, like you have to keep it in a case or whatever, which, you know, like if you keep your guitar in a case, very good, like good for you. I like keeping mine accessible, so I just have them on the wall, you know. I got 5 hooks in here and 2 in the other room, like, so the guitars can just be on the wall and ready to grab. So I don't like keeping them in a case, and the moisture in the air and the humidity getting to the strings has just been kind of like a price that I have to pay, you know, and have had to pay over the years to, like, it's just something I've gotten used to. Whereas all of a sudden I'm just like, damn, like I don't even have to worry about my damn strings rusting in the general environment now, like, which is crazy. Like, they're double the price. Like, that's the thing. This is why I never used to consider them, because I was like, I can get a set of standard strings for £5, or I can pay 10 for what is still strings, you know. But it's the time in which they last. You know, if you're gigging every night and you're making your way for a set of strings every night, I don't know if this applies to you as much, but then at the same time, you've probably got a string sponsorship at that point, and you're probably not having to pay for your strings, you know. I do. You know, like all the guitarists I know, we have to pay for our strings, so it is like, it's a conscious thought about which ones to buy, you know. And I really think that it is worth buying the premium strings now, because that double outlay is going to mean, well, like I said, say 2 weeks to be generous, even though I was saying a week, say 2 to be generous, versus I'm up to 4 months on those guitars. I reckon this guitar will still be strung with these Elixirs probably going into May at this point, and may not even need a change. Like, and that is insane to me. That is being used a lot. Also sitting in a fairly moisture-rich environment. There's like a lot of stuff that is not the best for this kind of thing. And yeah, 100%. Like, I have been sold. Like, we're coming round to the point of the video now, and it's just like, I was wrong. I was wrong, and I am happy to admit that I was very wrong. I say, going forward, I think I'm going to be trying to put Elixirs on my guitar out the too. I enjoy the Elixir strings quite a bit. But if I can't get a hold of any Elixirs in a pinch, I'll just grab Ernie Ball Paradigms instead, because I know that they're going to last. I know that they're going to last me a while. I know that the playability is not going to suffer as they get a little older, you know, like, if anything, like, I prefer the way they play after a month than I did on day one, and now it's just felt great since, you know. It's just, they're brilliant. They're brilliant strings, and yes, 100%, I recommend these guys. 100%, big recommendation. I thought I'd be talking for longer than that, so I guess I'm going to speed up the footage now of me finishing this string change. So, come along. Right, now we have it. So, to sum up for you guys, are expensive strings worth it? In my opinion, yes. But I've been told that by enough people over the 19 years and 6 months before I started buying expensive strings, and I didn't do it. So, the only way to find out really is to try them for yourself. So, I'm not sponsored by Big String. I have no brand loyalties. This is a guy spending his own money, giving his own opinions on his findings. And yeah, if you are the type of player like me who found yourself having to change strings way too often, then maybe just give a set of Elixirs or a set of Ernie Ball Paradigms a go. See if they last you longer. And if they don't, oh well, you can always go back to the regulars and just act like nothing happened. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was a nice, something a little different, you know, like something a little bit different. Thank you for watching. I've been Brain Dead, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.